Becoming a successful Amazon seller is probably the hardest it's ever been, and I think that's only going to get more difficult going into the future. Hey, what's up everyone, Yaniv here, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to share with you the 5 reasons I think Amazon is getting more and more difficult, and also kind of some things that you might not know about selling on Amazon from someone who's been doing it since 2017. There's obviously a lot of stuff that I've gone through, a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that I've learned about kind of the dark side of Amazon. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you some things about why it can be pretty difficult to start an Amazon business. But I don't want this to be kind of like an Amazon FBA is dead video because those are stupid. But kind of pulling back the curtains on this whole thing and showing you behind the scenes and why Amazon actually isn't like a get-rich-quick scheme or something where you can just get rich overnight. I mean, you can, but it's unlikely. So let me share with you guys the 5 reasons why Amazon is pretty damn difficult going into the future. So let's dive into it. The number one reason Amazon is going to be more difficult year by year going into the future is just the pure amount of Amazon FBA sellers who are just here for the get rich quick. And obviously with any sort of business model that promises gains and literally any business opportunity, there's going to be people who are going to see someone's successes and then try to mimic those and try to see that success for themselves.
Raise your hand if you want to get rich.
Obviously, though, these people don't understand that this is a real business model where you need to put real work in. And what happens is they end up cutting corners. And once their products don't sell in a market, they just reduce the price and it becomes a price war, essentially just absolutely nuking any market or niche that they go into. The same thing with NFTs, the same thing with crypto, all that kind of stuff is kind of similar things that you see in Amazon. You see someone making some success and then everyone else tries to jump in on that success. And that's also the same reason why a lot of these, Amazon FBA people who make videos and stuff like that, or even just Amazon FBA sellers, they never share their products because we're scared of these get-rich-quick sellers. We're scared of people nuking the markets. And, I think that's one of the biggest things going into the future is just the amount of new sellers. So that's only going to continue to increase. Luckily, though, the amount of Amazon shoppers is increasing. So that should kind of off balance that. But that is number one reason why it's going to get more difficult. There's just more people to compete with. Number 2, which is a similar issue, it's the amount of Chinese sellers coming into the market. And if you've done any product research at this point, you've definitely run through maybe hundreds of Chinese sellers, if not thousands of them, because literally they're kind of the same thing like these get rich quick sellers, except they have more of a advantage, right? They can get products for cheaper. The products are still shit, but they can get them for cheaper and get them up on Amazon. They literally sell hundreds or thousands of products and they don't really care what the price is or the profits. They'll literally take 50 cents profit or $1 profit because they're just worrying about quantity and mass. And so that's another kind of problem with this whole space. Luckily, if you've been following Amazon news, they recently just banned like 50,000 Chinese sellers or something like that for policy violations and kind of all the different sketchy stuff that they do. But that is the second reason that Amazon is going to be more difficult. There are just a lot. And I mean, I started in 2017, right? And I can see I can really see that there's a lot more Chinese sellers coming to the market. So basically, if you don't know how to compete with the get-rich-quick sellers or the Chinese sellers, and you're not taking the time to learn, you're really going to be in big trouble going forward. And let me just give you an example, like in my personal business, the one that I was sharing with you guys on YouTube. Basically, there was a new Chinese seller that came into the market and they instantly took about 25% of the market share. And obviously that wasn't a good thing to see, but the funny thing about these sellers is that they took that market share for about, the 25% market share for about 2 months, let's say, and they made a lot of money, but because they're similar to these get-rich-quick sellers, the Chinese sellers, they actually cut a lot of corners and they missed one very crucial key that I knew was going to bite them in the ass. And what they did was they actually included a product in their bundle that was restricted. And I knew this as soon as I saw it because obviously, I know the Amazon game, I know the space, I take the time to learn the market and understand where I'm going to be selling. And I didn't include that in because I knew it was restricted. And so, yeah, they made a lot of money for those 2 months. But now their listing has been removed and they're no longer available for sale on Amazon. So not only do I now have my 25% market share back, but we're going and growing from there because we have a ton more reviews now and just really growing through all the bullshit that happens on the Amazon platform. Luckily for me, it worked out, but nonetheless, that's obviously something that's just going to become more and more of an issue for people on Amazon is dealing with these Chinese sellers. And the third reason Amazon is becoming more difficult now is because you have to deal with Amazon and fight against Amazon. And I don't mean like fight against them for like their, against their brands and their products, like their Amazon basic stuff. I mean literally fighting the company to get things figured out when you have a problem. I mean, like at this point, Amazon is getting so big that they have so many different departments and none of them really talk to each other. Like there'll be a department for seller support, there'll be a department that creates the rules for whatever you're dealing with that, is only an email only, support network, so you can't call them, and they take 7 to 10 days to get back to you, and you can hope that they get your, kind of problem solved. And these are the guys who actually create the rules, so you only really want to talk to these guys, and they're the only ones who can really solve them. And then there's also the AI, which is like a completely separate thing, where the AI is actually just enforcing all the rules that this department is making, these unclear rules that the department is making, and the AI kind of enforces those unclear rules, and none of the 3 departments actually talk to each other, and so it's just a complete and giant, a total shit show. And when things go wrong, right, when the AI just kind of like shits out and tags you for something you're completely irrelevant for, and takes you off Amazon, you're sit there, just picking your butt, waiting until Amazon decides that, hey, you can sell your product again, because sorry, my bad, we actually got that wrong. The AI flagged you for no reason. And to give you an example from my life and from my business, I mean, at this point, this happens to me like constantly, which is just, it's insane, because, they'll just take your listing down for 2, 3, 4 days, you lose thousands of dollars, and they're just like,
I was way off.
My bad. And what happened to me is recently I just got A+ content done for my listing, and it was supposed to be like a good time. We were going to get that up there. It's going to increase conversion rates, get some indexing for us, and just overall be a great thing for our product. And as soon as we uploaded the A+ content, the listing was taken down. And at first I was like, that's weird. I'm not sure if that is correlated, but at any point that you really change anything in your listing, you do have the chance of getting pulled for whatever reason. At this point, we got pulled for pesticides. Even though, like, I wish I could share the product with you guys, because this is hilarious when I saw it, is that this is like, there's just, I don't even know how you could even connect the 2 dots there with pesticides. It's like if you're selling like a pen and it gets, taken down for pesticide, you're like, how is this even remotely related to that? Like, I don't even know how the algorithm, the AI even picked up on this key, like what keyword did it pick up to get written as a pesticide. And luckily, after I figured out, I talked to seller support, they reinstated my listing, obviously for obvious reasons, but my A+ content wasn't actually applied, so I had to reapply my A+ content, and then again, the listing was taken down. And during this process, there's probably about 5 days where my listing was down, and we're making like, nearly, $1,500 to $2,000 per day. So you can imagine for like 3-4 days, if you have that down. I mean, that's just that's like a lot of money that you're losing out on for no reason but the fact that you have to deal with the bullshit that Amazon puts you through. And to be honest, like at this point, whenever Amazon does, pull down one of my listings, it doesn't even faze me anymore because it's happened so often. It's just something that, if you know how to get it reinstated, you will. But it's just something that is a huge pain. And I know a lot of people who don't know how to get them reinstated. And obviously that's a big problem because, you lose thousands of dollars. And if you can't get it reinstated, then all your inventory goes to the trash. So if you guys want to see a video like kind of how to reinstate the listing, the best ways and practices to do that, leave a comment down below. Let me know. I'll put that together if there's enough people who actually care about that. The 4th reason Amazon is getting more and more difficult is actually black hat sellers. Luckily at this point, the black hat sellers are really kind of on the down low. Amazon has really taken a lot of them out, but basically what they did is they took down the kind of low level black hat sellers, not the high level ones. The high level ones are people who know how to skirt around the Amazon algorithm and the Amazon's security. And so basically what they've left up is essentially the most hardcore and most the strongest black hat sellers and black hat tactics. And you may have seen these black hat sellers, people who come into your market and all of a sudden the next day after they launch their product, they already have 50 reviews, 5 stars. The reviews have nothing to do with the product. And then maybe within 1 week or 2 weeks, they're somehow at 300, 400 reviews. And so obviously that there's some sketchy stuff going there. And that's kind of one of the biggest things that I was seeing a couple years back. That was kind of the main tactic that they were using, is you just imagine you can launch any product and within 1 to 2 weeks, you have 300 5-star reviews. Well, obviously your product's going to do really, really well, no matter how competitive the market is, because you're just faking reviews. And like I mentioned, back in 2017, 18, this was the wild, wild west. So while, there's still people who do this now, and there's always going to be black hat tactics and sellers. I have a story where like back in 2018, I had a product that was making 60 to 70, 80 sales per day. And I was waiting, because Prime Day was coming up. So I was super excited. One of my first Prime Days. And I knew that this product was going to absolutely crush it. And Prime Day, sometimes it can be like 10x your sales. And so I was getting ready for that, and we had the inventory for that. And right when Prime Day launched, I actually had my product, I came and I noticed that like my product wasn't actually making, that many sales at all. And I went to my listing and I realized that my listing, so my pictures have been changed. My reviews have been kind of switched. My title, bullets, everything was gone. And I was shocked because this is Prime Day. I mean, I'm getting ready for like probably the biggest day, as an Amazon seller that I've had. And so what I realized was there was a black hat seller, probably from my market, who was messing with my listing. They had changed my pictures to the main image literally said, don't buy this product, counterfeit product. The other pictures were all removed. The title was something else, I don't remember. I had like a few hundred reviews. The reviews had changed to like 12 reviews. And it was like a 2.5 star, 12 reviews. And I went to the reviews and I realized that all the reviews were from like a product, like from like a book, like a really shitty book apparently, that people were, I don't know how they did this, right? It had something to do with like merging listings, and they had to have merged my listing with another listing that had really bad reviews. And so essentially, I called Amazon seller support. I was like, guys, what the hell's going on? Like, help me fix this listing. They refreshed my listing, brought it back up. And as I was on the call with Amazon seller support being like, oh, thanks so much, like you helped me figure this out, I refreshed the page and it was good. And then I refreshed the page again and he had switched it in real time back to what it was. And so I was on the phone with seller support probably 2 hours, continuously refreshing my listing. Eventually the guy just gave up and stopped kind of messing with my listing. And the rest of the Prime Day was all right. But really, this kind of stuff is pretty common. I don't know how common it is now. I haven't heard of it too much now, but it was very common. But black hat tactics, black hat sellers are always going to be here. And like I said, these are kind of things that nobody talks about, except for people who've had experience with this stuff, right? Like I'm telling you, when you really pull back the curtain on this stuff, yes, there's a lot of amazing things about Amazon. And I believe that Amazon is the best business model you can ever start, to be honest. Especially if you have a low budget, like 2, 3, 4, 5, even 5,000 is really a low budget to start a business. But no one really talks about this stuff. And like I said, the biggest, baddest black hat sellers are still here. And that's still something that you're going to have to deal with. Luckily, again, it's something like kind of like the Amazon stuff. You kind of just learn how to get around them. It's just kind of occupational hazards, I guess, of the business model. And number 5, the last reason why I think it's only going to get hard into the future, especially right now, getting into this is very hard, is because 1, there's inventory limits on Amazon. Yes, they're better than they were before, but they're still very much capped for a lot of the bigger sellers. And as you grow, it's very difficult to stay in stock and then also launch new products. Number 2 is Chinese power outages. I'll leave again a link here if you haven't seen about that. They're having some power outages there where factories are shutting down for 5 days out of the week. They only work 2 days or even worse. And there's shipping costs increased by God knows how many, 400% or whatever over the last year. Raw material prices are rising because of inflation, all the kind of just all the everything that's backed up, everything that's going on. There's just so much shit that's happening right now. And so as the world reopens, these are things that you have to deal with. And so it's very difficult for someone starting off right now, especially if you don't know what you're doing, if you're starting off and you don't know kind of these pitfalls that you can run into. And how to navigate these things, how to plan for your Q4 inventory, how to plan for Chinese New Year, how much inventory to order, especially not knowing like how long it's going to be before your manufacturer can produce your products and can ship them out, and how much it's going to cost you for that, because literally month by month the shipping costs have increased by like literally from my last shipping cost to this shipping cost, it's like $1,000 more, and so that really cuts into profit margins. Also knowing how to work around inflation and how to price your products accordingly, and knowing when to raise your prices and how to slowly do that so you don't get affected with a decrease in sales, and just a whole bunch of stuff. And to be honest, if you are brand new, or even if you're just don't know how to navigate these kind of things, or you're scared about like what could possibly happen, because truthfully there's a lot of things that can happen, really I'd recommend you pick up a program. Check the first link in the description. It's my Amazon FBA Ecom Limitless program, and basically I walk through every single step that there is on Amazon, whether you're a complete beginner or not. Like, this program is meant to meet you where you are and then grow and elevate your skills from there. And it's literally everything that I know. So if you want to get into my head and know everything that I've dealt with, all the things that I've been through, stuff like kind of in this video, it's all in that program. And also right now comes with my one-on-one mentorship. So literally, if you run into any crap like this, or any sort of problems in your business, that even stuff that I haven't mentioned here, it's very easy to work with me to be able to figure out what your problems are. I've literally dealt through probably almost anything that you can on Amazon in my businesses since 2017. And I'm in the trenches with you guys. So if you have any questions at any point, you'll be able to work with me. I also validate your products. make sure that you're going into the right markets, help you with differentiation, sourcing, launching, PPC optimizations, just everything in between. So if you are interested in that and you're looking for a program you want to, take over and dominate this Q4 season, make sure to check the first link in the description, join the Ecom Limitless program, and have the one-on-one with myself. And it's unlimited mentorship, so it's not for 3 or 6 months, it's for as long as you need it to achieve your goals. That's pretty much it for me, guys, though. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.